Hey, Green Jackets fans, Seth Corry joins us now. Of course, you've heard of that name if you followed the Green Jackets at all last season. Seth, how you doing? You hanging in there?
Yeah, doing pretty good, Colin. Trying to do as much as I can during this quarantine. Kind of frustrating at times, but kind of got into a routine of figuring out what works for me on a day-to-day basis. So, yeah, hanging in there.
How are you staying busy? Is it video games, books, board games? What's keeping you occupied?
So I'm still able to go down to my high school field, and I kind of blow out a good chunk of my day down there with my dad for a couple hours, throwing PFPs, whatever it is, and then big video game guy, Call of Duty, Warzone. That's how I spend a lot of my time, and just watching movies with my wife, TV shows, whatever it is.
I know you said you're still getting out to the field to throw a little bit, but what are you doing specifically to keep yourself as ready as possible, even though we don't know exactly when we're going to get going?
Yeah, so I think just trying to bring over as much as I learned from spring training this year, because I'm still able to go out on the field. I'm still able to throw. I'm still able to throw bullpens, and I think just being able to keep that mental focus of taking this time really seriously on growing my game because I'm still able to go out on a field. I'm still able to throw bullpens. And I think just trying to carry over everything that I've learned in spring training this year and kind of just treat it as much as I can like the same.
So let's talk a little bit about last season. Tell us kind of what that experience was like for you in Augusta and playing for Carlos and the staff last year.
Yeah, so I mean, I have all the utmost respect and love for Valdi, Foxy, Rapada, Romero. I love all of them. I love all of them so much, and they made the season really fun. And at times, the season was frustrating. As I had as good a season as I did, but the first half was frustrating. There were times where I had to kind of figure out my identity. I had to figure out ways to move forward, ways to progress, and ways to get better. And I think I really figured those things out uh, from a mental focus standpoint, discipline, in that second half. And I think once I figured out that discipline and I kind of figured out what it was all about, I was able to run with it.
Tell me about becoming the single season strikeout leader in Green Jackets history. Was that a moment when you knew you broke the record? How special was that for you?
To be honest, I had no clue. I'm the type of guy that just goes about his business. I don't really focus on that type of stuff, even though it's really cool and it's something that I'm really proud of myself for because I've worked really hard. I worked my butt off that season to get to where I'm at now, and I had no clue that it was coming or anything. But when it did happen, I have to admit, like it was really cool to see all the fans, supporting me, standing up, clapping. But for the most part, I wasn't very satisfied. I was just ready to get on to the next hitter. I wasn't having the greatest game that day, so I was more focused on finishing strong with that game more than breaking the strikeout record.
So is that when you knew when the fans started cheering as it happened, or did someone have to tell you afterward?
No, so it was actually I'm pretty sure it was like said over the intercom, like over the field intercom that I broke the strikeout record. And I think that was when I knew, obviously, because but before that, I had no clue.
Cool, cool. And what's it like for you I mean, on that list of guys that you passed is Madison Bumgarner. I mean, is that a big deal for you?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a big deal to be on the list for sure. And I think it showcases my ability to become great someday. I got a long ways to go. And it just gives me a lot of hope and a lot of drive and a lot of, like I said, go back to the word discipline to want to be like those greats like John Lester, Madison Bumgarner, just examples that I've looked up to my whole entire career, even until now. And it just makes me want to be better.
Well, there are a lot of people that enjoyed watching you in Augusta last season, and we went on social media. We asked people to submit questions if they wanted some questions answered from you, and I picked a handful of those questions that were submitted. So I'm going to go through those right now. We'll start with
Yep.
a fan on Twitter that asked, what's the next thing you want to improve as you move on and start to face more and more advanced hitters?
Yeah. So that's the question, right? Everyone kind of stapling it. It's A ball, right? A lot of guys, you get away with a lot of things. And I think just being able to go back to my roots of staying disciplined and knowing what works for me and also refining little tools that I need to, like one, for instance, is, dropping my curveball in for more strikes, strike ones, and I think just being able to stay with that discipline of being really focused on what I want to do on a day-to-day basis and redefine those tools like dropping that curveball for a strike is really what's going to help me to down the road.
All right, someone on Instagram wanted to know what's your favorite thing about SRP Park?
That's a tough question because it's such a beautiful ballpark, but oh, man, that's tough. Oh man, that's tough because the fans are great. I really, really like the jumbotron in left field. I'm a big fan of the jumbotron. I like watching when I'm on the bench in the dugout, being able to watch like the videos that they put up and stuff. I actually really enjoy that. But for the most part, I would have to say the fans. The fans are great on a night-to-night basis.
Okay, another fan on Instagram wanted to know what's your most deadly pitch?
And recently, through spring training this year, honestly, it's been my changeup. But I'd have overall, if I'm going through all my pitches since I've been playing, definitely my curveball. When it's on, it's definitely my best pitch for sure.
Okay, another Instagram fan wanted to know how did you improve your control over the course of the season in 2019?
It was a little bit of a mechanical fix, but that really had nothing to do with it. It was more of my mental discipline, just being able to be consistent with my routine and being able to be consistent with my body. You know, being able to repeat and being able to have that mental focus on a pitch to pitch kind of regimen was what really, really helped me.
Okay, and the last one also from Instagram. This one a little bit more instructional. Someone wanted to know your advice on how he could increase his speed off the rubber as a pitcher.
Oh, that's a tough one, right? Because for everyone that's different. Whether it's a mechanical thing that they need to fix, whether it's they need more arm strength, they need to be more flexible. But for me, from a young age, the thing that helped me the most was definitely throwing every single day and throwing every single day with intent, not just going out and throwing 50%, but going out every single day and throwing 100% from 200 feet out. When I was younger, what really helped me was kind of develop that arm strength first, and then everything else will come.
Awesome, Seth. Can't thank you enough for taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah, you too, Colin. I really appreciate it.
All right, that's Seth Corry, man. He really impressed a lot of people with Augusta last season. We can't wait to see what he does going forward. Thanks, Seth.
Yep. Thank you.
This one presented by Wow Internet Cable and Phone, and that's Seth Corry, pitcher from the 2019 roster.